Hi guys, Cynthia here, and today we are doing a July hydrangea tour. Now, I this is probably my favorite view of my garden. This is the south side of the garden. It gets full sun, full afternoon sun, full morning sun. It is kind of late right now. It is after 7. It was in the 90s today, so it was literally unbearable. I come bearing tags. Now, the reason why I decided to bring my tags is because I believe in my June tour, I got confused with some of my hydrangeas. I think it was the Firelight series because I have a lot of them. And so I got confused with tidbits and fire this and all the things. So I figured let's use my tags. I suggest always saving your tags. I think it's just a great idea. I save mine one so that I can remember the name of the plant, the size, just all of the things that need to be kind of referenced again when, dealing with plants. I also saw, which I thought was kind of cool, one of the YouTubers that I really like, she actually keeps hers in Ziploc bags and it's labeled by section in her garden, which I thought that was just genius. And I'm probably going to go ahead and do that. She just used them like in like the really large gallon size tubs. So let me just make sure that I have every single tag just to be sure, because it was literally the tidbits and the I forgot which one it was, but there was a few of them that I was just like, I messed that up in the video. I really thought that's what it was. And quite frankly, it is what it is. Oh, and I think we're going to be able to identify the Big Band Can Dance and, the other one, Big Dance, Arriba, and Dance. I don't know. You know what I'm talking about. Alrighty, so we're gonna go ahead and start. I just wanted to make sure that I had the correct tags. So the first couple you see here, this beautiful white hedge, these are all Bobo hydrangeas. Bobo hydrangea is probably my favorite hydrangea. Now, when they look like this, I'm completely in love. Like I see it and I'm like, oh, I love Bobo hydrangeas. Bobo hydrangeas are panicle hydrangeas. They're going to grow on new wood, old wood, all the wood. You can trim them down, and they will still bloom for you, which is wonderful. I believe they get 3 to 4 feet. Let me reference the tag. Bobo hydrangeas get 2.5 to 3 feet tall, and they get 3 to 4 feet wide. And I thought, so this hedge is over 5 years old. It is absolutely a stunner. And the reason why I chose Bobos for this particular garden was because of my window boxes. I couldn't very well put I thought about putting like a Limelight, but Limelight get enormous, Pinky Winkies get enormous. All of these different types of hydrangeas get extremely enormous. But Bobo at the time was a smaller hydrangea. Now they have like the Prime, is it Limelight Prime? Yeah, I have one of those. That doesn't get that tall. It would have been perfect over here, and it turns like a beautiful pink. And I think that if I was to ever do this again, I would do it with that. But this by far, I love Bobos. And I'm going to walk you down, and you'll see that I have a Bobo down there that is kind of small. And that's because I literally just planted it there, I believe in the fall, I think. I can't remember. But let me show you a little bit closer because they are absolutely beautiful, and I really think that they need their own whole screen. This next hydrangea between both of the Bobos, this is a tiny Quickfire hydrangea. This is a panicle hydrangea, and actually I have a really great example. It grows on new wood. You can see that the hydrangea right there, the second one, was actually broken off and it is trying to rebloom. And it is just a perfect example of how these hydrangeas work. If it gets, mowed down, eaten, broken, winter damage, it's still going to try to perform for you. You can see right there that it is indeed trying to set some new blooms. So this hydrangea gets 1.5 to 3 feet tall and wide. And like I said, it is a panicle, so therefore it does bloom on new wood. It is a hardy zone, I believe it's 3 to 8, and that is the same for the Bobo hydrangeas. A lot of the proven winter hydrangeas, they are extremely, extremely cold tolerant. So moving this way, here we have some more Bobos, and then I'll show you this cute little Bobo that I have here. It was in really, 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 really bad shape last year. And I'm just proud that it is blooming and it looks okay. And I think eventually it is going to just fill in, and I think it's actually going to give me some good growth next year. I continue to fertilize it, and that's another thing. You want to make sure that you fertilize your hydrangeas in the spring, in the middle of summer. And yeah, I think they need two feedings during the growing season. This beautiful hydrangea. This is a Pinky Winky standard hydrangea. This poor Pinky Winky, I nearly killed it 2 years ago, and I had to kind of nurse it back to health in a pot, and it's doing wonderful. This is its second season in the ground in this particular area. And Pinky Winkies are also panicle hydrangeas. They are hardy zone 3 to 8, and they also bloom on new wood. They get really, really big, 6 to 8 feet tall and wide. But because this is a panicle hydrangea, I'm sorry, because this is a standard, it's not going to get as big as that. Um, but I am looking forward to this guy really, really, really filling out and just looking beautiful. What is really good about Pinky Winky is that their stems are almost like rhubarb, super, super strong. Same with the Bobo hydrangea. They're nothing like the Limelight. Limelights kind of flop when they get wet. And a lot of, I would say, like the Annabelles really flop also, but this particular hydrangea has super, super strong stems, which is my favorite thing. Right below that, let's just pan down, I have this gorgeous hydrangea, and now that it is blooming, look at that, guys. Now that it is blooming, this is a for sure Let's Dance Arriba. And the reason I feel comfortable thinking it's a Let's Dance Arriba has, I'm putting the tag here so you can see what I'm talking about, has like this really pretty, like bluey center to every single petal. And you can see that it actually has that also in this one, because I was concerned that this one was the other one that I have, which is Let's Dance Big Band, and it's not. And I think it's not because of that little bluey center. So this one is a big leaf hydrangea. It is reblooming. It is hardiness zone 4 to 9. It gets only 2 to 3 feet tall and wide. It likes, sun and a part shade, which is why I decided to put it underneath the canopy of this Pinky Winky. I thought it would be perfect for it. It will protect it from its afternoon sun, but also give it the sun that it needs. I absolutely love this, and I'm really thinking about possibly getting some more and putting it throughout like the bottom area here, just making probably a ring around this Pinky Winky. Something I thought about. It may not happen, but it is something that has crossed my mind because I really, really love that hydrangea. Now, if you want your bloom, so this particular hydrangea can change its bloom color. You know how, like, if you add soil acidifier, it can change your blooms blue. If you want that to happen next year, this is the time to put the soil acidifier in, because it is going to kind of set that blue color for the buds next year. So this one also was literally dead to the ground and came up magically. Panning over this way, please don't mind those holes. I did move some plants. I had a Gatsby Gal in this hole over there that is not doing well. So I put it in a pot, and I am going to try to nurse it back to health in deep shade. I don't know what happened. I think it got too dry here. And then I had some Jacob's Ladder back there, and I didn't like that, so I removed it. But these gorgeous beauties that you see here, these are Invincible Wee White. This is by far, I'd have to say it, my favorite looking hydrangea. It is, let's see, I think it gets maybe an hour of sun, afternoon sun in this area, and they are in full bloom. All right, let's hold for the train. As I was saying, this hydrangea is Invincible Wee White. It is a smooth hydrangea. What I love about this hydrangea is that it is so floriferous, even when it does not receive that much sun. And I'll show you in like the deeper shade garden, where it literally receives maybe 3 hours of morning sun, and it's still absolutely glorious and full of bloom. These were just planted last spring, and they have so many blooms. And I'll show you another example a little bit down that way that they were just planted this fall, and they look absolutely stunning also. So let's talk about the Invincible Wee White. They are a beautiful, smooth mop head hydrangea with super sturdy stems. They will not flop. They have never flopped for me. I'm not sure. Um, I can't say that they don't flop, but they have never flopped for me, even in like torrential downpour. They are a hardiness zone 3 to 8, and they only grow 1 to 2.5 feet tall and wide. And they are absolutely beautiful. Like I said, they don't get that much sun at all, and yet they are extremely floriferous, and they are like just tough, super tough hydrangeas. So I really hate to show you this particular hydrangea in its current state. This is a tiny tough stuff, and you can kind of see that the new blooms. So I put soil acidifier on this plant in the spring. I just did all of my hydrangeas with fertilizer. I did add some soil acidifier to this, and the new blooms, you can see right there, are glowing. They are glowing, but they are growing blue, and they're absolutely beautiful. So you can go ahead and cut these back, and they are supposed to be reblooming. And this is what's called a mountain hydrangea. It is hardiness zone 5 to 9, and it only grows 1.5 to 2 feet tall and wide. This is actually full grown. This has been here for over 4 years now, and it's marvelous. Every year it just blows me away. I will add another video or a picture here so you can see what it looked like early in the season. It is by far a wonderful hydrangea, super tough. I did get a little nervous this winter because we got a lot of snow, and I wasn't sure how she was gonna behave, but she did well. So here are the tiny little wee whites. I have 3 of them, one there, and one tiny one back there. I did not think these were going to bloom this year. They were literally down to the ground, broken. Just the stems were I was really concerned, but you can see here that they are really trying to bloom. I really love that they all kind of have like a number amount of blooms. Like this one has 3 blooms, that one has 4. You can't see the other one because it's underneath, and that one has 2. So I really think that it's super cute. But I'm really looking forward to next year when these get to just come into their own and start peeking through. These do get about 3 hours of afternoon sun, so you know they look all right. The only thing that I do not love about these smooth hydrangeas is that sometimes the leaves, they look a little bit like they are needing some iron, but they're not. They're perfectly fine. Um, but I'm really excited for these wee whites to start to grow. Over here in this corner, so I decided to put, as you can see, we have a menagerie of pipes and everything else. We get a lot of snow, we get a lot of water in our area, and therefore all of our drains and spouts have to be way far from the house, or it can cause some serious damage to the basement. So this one here, this is a beautiful oakleaf hydrangea. This is the Gatsby Pink. Such a gorgeous hydrangea. The reason why I decided to put this is because this one gets 6 to 8 feet tall and wide, and I thought it would be really great to like kind of grow up this whole area and hide all of the yuckies. It does have a few blooms this year. It did go through the ringer. I put this in this fall that just passed, and so I'm even shocked that it bloomed at all. It was in really bad shape. I did get it as a clearance plant, and just look how gorgeous she is. Just stunning. It is hardiness zone 5 to 9. As I mentioned, it gets 6 to 8 feet tall and wide. And I am a huge fan of oakleaf hydrangeas. The only thing I don't like is that you see all those little bugs that are flying over it. Why do they do that? I don't know, but it has only 2 blooms, and I'm okay with only 2 blooms because of how gorgeous she is. You can see there's a hole there. I did take a Jacob's ladder out of there, and I thought about putting another hosta, and I still might. I'm just not sure which one. As you walk past the shade garden, you will see that I have another wee white hydrangea. This hydrangea is fully grown. This hydrangea has been here over 4 years for sure. And this part of the garden is indeed in full shade. It gets about, I don't know, 3 hours of morning sun, and just look how gorgeous and floriferous this hydrangea is. It is so beautiful. I want to show you how big these mop head flowers are. And it's also reblooming. Look at how gorgeous, look at how big that is. It is absolutely beautiful. And you can see there's another bloom coming here and another bloom right over here. Just one of my favorite hydrangeas for sure, and I'm probably going to say that about all of them, but you know how that goes. It's not a lie. I love hydrangeas. I wish I could have an entire I should have had an entire hydrangea garden. When you walk down this way, oh my goodness, this queen, look at this. This is a Munchkin hydrangea. This is also an oakleaf hydrangea, and I thought, so this is kind of a slopey garden, so sorry if my camera is at a weird angle. I do apologize, but I thought this would be great to kind of hide the ugly corner of the house. This is actually a Munchkin oakleaf hydrangea. It is by the company Northern Grown. And I got this when it was super sale. This is now its third year here, and it did not look good. Like when I planted it, I was really concerned. And every winter I cover it. It is hardiness zone -20. I don't know what that is. I'll put on the screen. But it does get 3 to 4 feet tall and 4 to 6 feet wide. So that's why I thought it'd be really good to just hide this corner of the house that I am not a fan of. But look at how gorgeous it is. It is a huge pollinator attractant. It does have super sturdy stems. Things that you need to know though about oak leaves is that they bloom on old wood. So you need to be very careful. We have a lot of deer pressure in my area, and so I cover all my oak leaves just because of that. If you are looking at wanting to shape your oak leaf and do not want to sacrifice any blooms for next year, this is the time to trim them. They are right now setting buds for the next year, and you need to trim it now if you are thinking about getting any blooms for the following year at all. But I do not recommend that you trim it. I just say, like, what I love about oak leaves is that they kind of have this windy, kind of twisty, turny kind of stems, and I really don't mind it kind of growing a little strange. So I don't ever recommend trimming, but if you had to earlier in the season, the better. Okay, so this beautiful, this is a Sublime lime, I believe, hydrangea. Yes, it is. I absolutely love this hydrangea. This is actually its first year in the ground. And what I mean is I planted it last fall, and it was a clearance plant, and it was in not great shape. This is an invincible sublime. It's hardiness zone 3 to 9. It grows 3.5 to 5 feet tall and wide. So I just thought it would be really great to kind of hide that crusty, dusty window there. And then eventually I'll move that planter. But the goal was to just hide the ugly parts. This is also a smooth hydrangea, and it does grow on new and old wood. I'm not sure if it's actually a reblooming hydrangea. Let me put it on the screen if it is or not. But I absolutely love this hydrangea. So this is a panicle hydrangea. This is a limelight hydrangea. This is a hydrangea that grows on new, old, all the woods. It is a very large hydrangea, and you can see that I have it here on standard. I believe the limelight hydrangea gets pretty big. I think it's 6 to 8 feet tall and wide. Grows on, let me just make sure that is, yes, it is 6 to 8 feet tall and wide. It is hardiness zone 3 to 9. It loves full sun. And the reason why I decided to put it in this bed is because this bed, oh, look at my gorilla card. Sorry about that, guys. This bed actually gets all morning sun, and then in the afternoon it literally goes like this, which is why you can see I have a lot of sun loving things here in the corner. And it just is, it was the perfect kind of thing to bridge the sun and the shade to each other, and I just think it's beautiful. Underneath that hydrangea, I have, I believe one is a Let's Dance Big Band, which I think they're both are Let's Dance Big Band. Nope, this is Let's Dance Big Band, and that is the one that I have in the front. The Let's Dance Big Dance is the Let's Dance Big Band. Oh my gosh, it's a reblooming big leaf hydrangea. It is hardiness zone 5 to 9, and it gets 2.5 feet tall and wide. I thought about getting another one and making a trio of it. I also thought about moving these two to the front, which is what I might do because I want more of this beautiful color here. And then I thought about just putting cone flowers on here, something that can take a lot more sun than these smooth hydrangeas. This by far is the best hydrangea view in my garden, with all of these alliums, which I will be removing some of them. I think there's a little too much here, and just the hostas in the back, and it's my absolute favorite hydrangea. But I just love this view. It is so magical to me. This is a Firelight Tidbit. This is also a panicle hydrangea. It blooms on new, old, all the woods. This hydrangea, so gorgeous. It is hardiness zone 3 to 8, and it goes 2.5 feet tall to 3 to 4 feet wide. And I believe that this is its full, growth. It has been here so long. It has been here 5 years at least. This is section was a lot smaller, this garden, and I'll put a picture of what it looked like when I first planted it all in. And this was probably the first hydrangea that I put in to my garden. But look at how beautiful it is. It's got gorgeous, like, it's a lovely pollinator plant. They love it. It also smells really good. And I'm really looking forward to all of the blooms turning this bright pinky orangey color. And I'm also looking forward to the pink and the purple that's going to happen with these alliums. It's beautiful, beautiful hydrangea. But before we go, I do want to say that, again, this hydrangea has extremely strong stems, extremely strong stems. So if you have high wind, heavy snow, heavy rain, and you want something that's going to stand up to the weather, this is definitely the hydrangea for you. It is extremely sturdy. So this beautiful hydrangea, this panicle hydrangea, let me zoom in because it needs to be seen. How beautiful is this? This is a Quickfire hydrangea, and it is on standard. And this was my first big purchase. I know it sounds very silly, but it was very expensive. It was very expensive, but I really wanted something beautiful in this area. I do have another one that is on the deck there. She's not in good shape. She got fried, but this one is beautiful. And these hydrangeas get really big, 6 to 8 feet tall and wide. They're hardiness zone 3 to 8, super sturdy. I mean, the stems on this, look at how thick they are. I never trim this. I only take the old blooms off, and then I just let it go nuts. And you can see how beautiful this particular hydrangea is. And it's huge. I would say this one is at its maturity. It's been here for over 3 years now. It is beautiful. Now we are in the vegetable garden, and I want to show you this particular hydrangea. What is so impressive about the Invincible Mini Malvat is that it can actually be planted near a black walnut. Black walnuts are no good. They basically secrete this thing called jugalone. Sorry about that, shaky camera. Called jugalone, and it secretes through the soil, through their leaves, through their roots, through all this stuff. And a lot of plants do not do well, but this is an Invincible Mini Malvat. This is a smooth hydrangea, blooms on new old wood, extremely hardy, zone 3 to 8, and it gets 2.5 to 3 feet tall and wide. It is a beautiful hydrangea. It's finally looking good. It was in a different part of the garden, and it just didn't do well. But it does love part shade, and so I decided to put it underneath the canopy of my nectarine tree. You can see here that I'm kind of guarding with these two posts right now. But this Invincible Mini Malvat is by far just a beautiful, beautiful, super sturdy stemmed hydrangea. If we walk this way, um, before I talk about the obviously the queen, I want to talk about this. This is just another tiny Quickfire. This is a panicle hydrangea, just like the ones that are between the Bobos. And I put this out here last fall, and it's doing really, really well. So I'm really impressed with this particular plant. It's absolutely beautiful. But let's look at the showstopper. Tell me Tell me this is not the absolute most beautiful hydrangea you have ever seen. This is what I would have done in the side of my house instead of the Bobos, even though the Bobos are absolutely gorgeous and putting on the best show of their absolute lives. This is a Limelight Prime. Such a beautiful panicle hydrangea, hardiness zone 3 to 8, gets 4 to 6 feet tall and 4.5 feet wide. And I thought that would just be beautiful I put it out here thinking it would be fine. I got a little nervous with the fact that I have a black walnut tree, but it has done so well, and it's not that close to it, but it's not that far. So I'm actually extremely impressed, and I believe that I'm going to walk around so you guys can see how big it is now. This has been here, I would say, I think this is its 3rd year, and it is glorious. I didn't trim this at all. I just got rid of the dead blooms. And when I tell you, so sturdy, never flops. I mean, these are like, hard to bend, beautiful, beautiful. And it turns this bright pink color that is undeniably beautiful. And I would love a hedge of these one day somewhere. Maybe not this garden, but one day somewhere for sure. Just a beauty. Absolute gorgeous, gorgeous hydrangea. Totally recommend. All right, guys, that is going to do it for my hydrangea tour. I really hope you liked it. I love hydrangeas. I hope to get a ton of hydrangeas, more hydrangeas in the future. I don't know where they're going to go, to be honest, but I would love and I dream of more hydrangeas. um, let me know what kind of hydrangeas you guys have. What is your favorite hydrangea? Let me know down below. And are there any hydrangeas that I need to buy that I don't have? And I know there are because there's like 1 million more. Did you hear that Monrovia, they turn, what, 200 years old or 250? They turn something years old, and next year they're coming out with that many hydrangeas. Why? Like, how are we going to survive this? I have no space for any more plants. But anyway, and Proven Winners just keeps on and keeps on. You know what I mean? My goodness. So let me know what hydrangeas is your favorite. Let me know what kind of hydrangeas you grow. Also, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. I'd love to have you. And if you like the video, please like it. And I'm just going to leave it here, guys. It is getting dark, and bats are starting to fly. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. And remember, if you didn't get it done today, there is always tomorrow.